Is criminal defense attorney Heather Barbieri. And also, by the way, with us remotely is Fox and Friends co-host Lawrence Jones. Thank you both for being with us here. Heather, thank you for being here. Let's start with this story out of D.C. with the Chipotle that's been totally destroyed. It's part of a larger trend. We've seen this, like these teen takeovers, chaos, mob, fighting, etc. Pirro has a unique approach to this. She's going to go after parents. Now, is that doable? Can you charge parents for the crimes of their children?
It's not common, but it's doable. You can, but the burden that she's going to have is she's going to have to show that somehow they were knowingly involved in either assisting or financing it, and they had to have some type of knowledge. And that's going to be her burden. But she can do it. Yeah, she can do it if she can overcome that.
Looking for text messages, I'm going here, no, you can't go there, that kind of thing, improving the parent. Not just was involved, but might have known and did nothing. There's got to be something that the parent did or neglected to do, I would assume, that allowed this to occur as a crime.
Right. And so she needs to get that subpoena going.
Okay. Lawrence, I knew the minute I heard that, and I was actually really glad to hear that from Janine, because that is where this ultimately lies. I don't want to take agency away from the teens. They got to be held accountable for their own actions as well. But if we as a now community, a society, start saying, how do we fix this? Well, we can focus on the cities and the way they handle crime. Do they demand accountability? And we got to focus on the home. Lawrence, I would doubt you disagree. Families. We're going to have to hold families accountable if they can't hold their children accountable.
Well, you know, both of us from Texas, I spent the first part of my career working in juvenile justice. And there were some times where the court would bring the child, and of course, because the child is there, either their legal counsel is there, but many of the times their parents is there as well. And there were many times where you saw that the young child family was working or came from single homes. But there was a lot of times that you saw the defendant, the child, and you saw the parent, and you saw where they got it from, which was at the home. And so, Will, I think, I spent a part of my career talking about juvenile justice reform and giving these kids another shot. And I think that has hurt our system. And I think a lot of us are finding that when you did not give these young people consequences, they became repeat offenders and also tools of a lot of the criminal enterprise that's out there, Will.
Yeah. What interesting personal perspective, Lawrence. You worked in that area, and now you wonder whether or not that was the right call. Lawrence, you and I are good friends. We're not just friends. I think it's fair to say we're good friends. And I think the audience knows that. And one of the privileges of good friendship is the ability to address things directly. And, you know, you're not blind. I'm not blind. The audience isn't blind. When you see this, it is primarily young black teens. There is no race that has a monopoly on crime. I could show you video of a young white man throwing a keg through a cupcake restaurant in D.C. last night. But what we're talking about here is a trend, and it does index towards young black teens. What's going on, Lawrence?
Well, it used to be just young black men, but it's the women as well. And I think when you have a society, the home is one aspect of that. The first authority figure that young people see is the mom and dad. And many of those kids either don't have that in their life. But I also think when you have a criminal justice system now that is focused on the numbers and the proportion of the punishment and not the offenses being committed, you open up the door for young people to continue repeating that cycle. You know, it doesn't give me any great pleasure of most of the kids that I worked with when I was in the juvenile justice system are either in prison or they're dead, Will. I lie to you not. There's terrible. An article or something that my baby brother is sending me, say, hey, didn't you used to work with this kid? And I think part of the responsibility were those of us that were a part of the criminal justice system that said, okay, there's another path here. But I think we were way too lenient and that we didn't give these kids punishment first. Because when you give punishment, you let these young people know what they did was wrong. And unfortunately, our criminal justice system is not designed right like that right now.
Really good stuff, Lawrence. Before we go, Heather, You know, I talked about Luigi Mangione. You saw that stuff that I just read aloud, and you said what? What was your reaction to hearing those three women who are big fans of Luigi?
Oh, I thought it was deplorable. I think that it's insulting to me as a female because when we see the fans of Luigi Mangione, it's mostly females. And I think that we've come such a long way as a gender, and it's just taking us back decades.
Yeah, and we've seen the macro stats on how wildly far left women have gone. Now, whether or not it's fanboying Luigi in the ways of Che Guevara or the Boston Marathon bomber or whatever other serial killer women like to write letters to, or it's the ideological part of this, I don't know. I don't know what's driving this sickness, but it does seem to be afflicting particularly women.
Yeah, and I'm focused on this one right now because it's staring me right in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Heather Barbieri, Lawrence Jones, thank you both so much for being with us.